Hello everyone and welcome back to Causes Gaming. Today we are going to take a look at the good, and the bad, and the ugly of some gaming stories that are each connected by a theme. And the theme is kids. Each time there is going to be a kid involved in one of the stories, but to prevent us from going off on a pessimistic note, we're gonna start with the bad. And the bad is a story about a kid that destroyed its family's car with a hammer after the parents have taken Fortnite away from him. So yeah, gaming addiction can obviously be a really, really bad thing. And there are plenty of people around the world who suffer from it. The question is, how do you deal with addiction? And one of the most common ways to deal with any sort of addiction is going cold turkey. Just not having the thing you're addicted to available to you anymore. And this seems to be the way this family has decided to get their kid off of Fortnite. So, yeah, this happened last year when parents have locked the device the kid has been used to playing Fortnite on inside of the family car. And the kid has decided, I really, really want to play Fortnite. So he smashed the windshield with a hammer and went his move for the game. We do not know whether he was playing on console, mobile, or PC, but holy hell, this is just an awful story. So, with this story, I think the moral is fairly obvious. Whenever there is somebody addicted to anything around you, you need to work with them, not against them. Because if you work against them, they will not want to get better. And sadly, the amount of children, especially children who are addicted to video games, is growing. And last year, the World Health Organization actually made gaming addiction a mental illness. And why I personally disagree that it is its own sort of illness, to me, it just seems like a subset of gambling or any kind of psychological addiction there exists. We really need to work with these children. We need to figure out a way to make them better, to re-socialize them into normal society without any such excesses like the one that it was cited in this case happening. Because if we don't do that, well, we will hear more stories like this. And I'm sure maybe some of you have even heard stories from around you, like the kid just smashing things around when their cell phone is being taken away. I personally heard about that. So we need to find a way how to de-addictionize? I guess that's a word. De-addictionize children, or not even children, just people in general, from gaming. Because whether we like it or not, there's going to be more and more people that's going to be addicted to gaming. The same way we had people addicted to watching TV in the past. Even though there it wasn't considered as big of a problem as gaming is, for some reason I really don't understand. The question is how to do this. And I honestly don't have an answer. I think it needs to be made on a case-by-case basis, because each case is different. For some kids or some people, going cold turkey might be the solution. But especially for young children, this approach will just not work. They are not there mentally yet to actually handle the amount of stress that goes along with going cold turkey. For those, maybe something like just slowly reducing the time and watching over them, making sure they aren't actually playing all the time, is probably the best approach. But over time, we will see better approaches coming from experts, from psychologists and psychiatrists, actually finding out a way to deal with this issue. Moving on to the second, the ugly. This one is about a kid who was forced to smash his PlayStation 4 with a rock because he had bad grades by his father. So this might sound sort of ridiculous to you because holy hell. So yeah, this again is sort of on a similar note. But I personally really don't like this punishment because this punishment, while probably is going to be effective, it's probably going to get the kid to learn for a while. That's the deal with punishments. Punishments are great if you need somebody to do in a very short period of time. And sometimes I use punishments when I'm a teacher. For example, when the kids aren't behaving, I'll just present them with a test. Or just take them to me and ask them questions and give them a grade based on their questions. And usually they don't do really that well. But completely destroying something is just going to make the kid not really like you. So let's actually watch this video. It's only 3 minutes long. So let's see this. Let's go to the part where the kid is forced to destroy PlayStation. So that's roughly here. Yeah.
Beat it up. Beat it up. Beat it hard. Beat that thing up. Hit it. Hold on, man. Beat it up.
Man, that rock is huge. It's just...
Come on, here, hold it. Here, hold it. Here, drop it on there. Drop that thing on there. Don't drop it on. Move that way. Move that way. Move. See that? Huh? Oh, man, it's getting cracked up pretty good now. Come on. Beat it up. Beat it up. Keep on beating.
I'm just fascinated by this. Just like... what do you even say to this? Like, you can see the kid is clearly distressed. On top of that, you can see this family is well off. You can see that a PlayStation is probably not that big of an... really not that big of a expense for them. They can probably afford to buy a new one if they need. But yeah, it's just... I really don't like this. It just seems... it seems like it will not really help the kid altogether. He's probably going to have better grades for some time, but over a long period of time, he will not be helped. So to have a bit more optimistic ending to today's show, let's take a look at the third story of today, the good. And yeah, this one is just pure awesomeness. A 13-year-old boy sells his Xbox to buy his mom a car. And seeing this just warms your heart. This is how gaming stories should go. And yes, I love the way the story begins. Sometimes it's all too easy to focus on the negative in gaming world instead of some of the positive within the greater community. And yeah, we often do forget about the fact that gamers on average are very good people. We do good things, and you can see that whenever there's an event that connects gaming to charity, there's so much money collected for any of the charities. But in this case, there was a family in Nevada, and the 13-year-old son, William, sold his Xbox to buy his mother a car. So, you know, this was just a case of a family where the mother had problems because she didn't have a car. So the kid started doing some help, and eventually he found an ad about women selling a 1999 Chevrolet Metro, and he asked her if he could trade it for his Xbox, or at least earn it. And after a while of thinking, the woman actually agreed to this. So, this is just amazing. This just shows you that gamers do have hearts. It shows you that kids who play games aren't just bad. That we care about our families, we care about our communities, and we really just want to help for the most part. And I just hope to see more of these stories in the future of gamers being good people. Because if we don't get to see that, the public perception of us will always be of those antisocial kids. But that has long since not been true. Okay, and that's it for the stories of today. So let's take a look at some of the interesting games that are coming out today on Steam. Starting with a game called Mars Tactical Base Defense, which is a strategy game that is available for €17.99, which means pretty much 20 bucks. Let's take a look at the video of this game. And yeah, as you might guess, it's a strategy game where you're defending your Mars base from hordes of zombies. And I personally don't like zombies, and this is pretty much a sort of a tower defense slash base building game. So it's not something I personally am going to play, but I can certainly see why people would like to play this. Tower defense can be fun, and base building can be fun. So if this is your jam, be sure to give this thing a try. The second game we're going to take a look at today is called Islanders, which is another strategy game. Yeah, today is a good day for strategy games. But this one is just gorgeously colorful, and yeah, it tells me to watch with sound, so let's do that.
An informed decision on whether it's the right game for you. So here is a quick summary of how Islanders works.
Oh, see, we don't even have to talk.
At its core,
the game does it for us.
It's a minimalist strategy game about building cities on beautiful islands. Building something in Islanders doesn't cost any resources. Instead, you have an inventory with a limited amount of buildings in it. When you build something, you earn points depending on what's around it. For example, this lumberjack gets points for every tree and sawmill within its radius. Once you've earned enough points, you unlock new building options and your inventory gets refilled. In the beginning this is really simple, but as your cities grow bigger, this mechanic offers a lot of room for different optimizations and strategies.
And I will say, this way of
when you reach a certain
going around
the new island button in the right-hand corner,
needing
it allows you
to
travel
collect
through
stuff in the
lands,
game
start
actually
connecting
sounds
bigger
really cool. I actually might give
All
this one
islands
a
are
try
procedurally
because
generated, so there's a vast variety for
it
you to
actually
explore.
does sound interesting,
They
and
range
I
from
love the
snowy
graphics.
mountains
It's
to
so
wild
awesomely
deserts and small
colorful.
archipelagos. And they all provide different
We will have to
gameplay
see
benefits.
whether this thing is actually
If you
fine,
run out
but
of
from the
buildings
positive,
before unlocking
how
the
many
next
people
island,
say it's
the game's
positive?
over.
97% of people say it's
At this
positive.
point, you
That's
can ride off into the
an
sunset,
insane
or
number
take
of
a
people
proud
saying
last
it's
look at what you've
positive.
built and start the
So
next
yeah,
round.
this thing should be probably good. Available for you for
That's
just
it.
$4.99,
We want to offer you
which
relaxing
is a great price for a
building
game.
beautiful
Yeah,
cities in
be
no
sure to
time
pick this up if
Please
you
keep
like
in mind
city
that it
builders
does
in
not
any
offer the
way.
same amount of depth and
And lastly, I have something special for you guys. The Kingdom Come Deliverance Festival Suit. And this is not a game. This is a soundtrack that is available for free by Warho Studios, and it's of a live performance of the Kingdom Come Deliverance that was performed during the Soundtrack Festival in Poděbrady. And yeah, I know how to pronounce that because I am actually Czech. And it is available for free to watch this. So this is something everybody should watch. Let's just listen to a bit of the soundtrack because soundtracks are just amazing when done properly. Can you imagine the amount of work that has to go into this? I can't even, like, holy hell.
Indeed, Sigismund of Luxembourg has a rare talent for winning people over to his cause. You may be in for a surprise. I don't think he will set his heathen dogs.
This is how music should be done for games. With a live orchestra. Sadly, most studios don't really have the money for that, but whenever there's great music in a game, I wholeheartedly suggest you do get the soundtrack. And if you can't do that with Kingdom Hearts Deliverance, at least watch the free orchestra concert. And with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, there's that little subscribe button that would be mostly appreciated, or just fully appreciated if you clicked on it. The same can be said about the like button. And be sure to tell me in the comments, how can I improve my daily newsfeed for you guys? See you guys later with more gaming content.